repeated example, the Army of America, that since people are uneducated and destitute, these people are not able to make right decisions, and therefore the armies are ineffective, and that the qualities of armies are bad. No, thank you. However, we on the government side have illustrated clearly why ending national conscription and basing it on volunteering will have a stronger will on the army and therefore bring a more effective army. We have also discussed how redirecting the funds that currently go into forcing these unwilling people into military service can go to be redirected to better technology that can now in the 21st century actually improve the ultimate military power of our country.
Ma'am.
No, thank you. Our third area of clash was about the economy. While the opposition side has not addressed this issue very well, we on the proposition say that taking 2 years away from each citizen that currently has, or taking years or the time away from each citizen who has the right and the ability to produce and add to the economic benefits is detrimental to our economy. Now I would like to point out the many logical fallacies and the contradictions made by the opposition. The first contradiction and logical fallacy that I would like to point out is about the example that they gave us of a volunteer-based army, the American Army. They have continuously told us that people in the American Army are uneducated and destitute, and therefore they can commit many crimes. However, they did not clearly illustrate the steps to this, and this is even ad hominem, as saying that uneducated people and destitute people are likely to commit many crimes and are incapable of logical thinking. Also, a few soldiers in an army do not represent that whole army. This is a very big logical fallacy. They keep saying that because of these few people, the whole army is bad, but this is not the point. The whole army of America is very effective, and it has been proven in many wars throughout history, and because of the better technology that they have and their volunteer-based army, it has actually been proven that their army is one of the strongest in the world.
Point of information.
No, thank you. No, thank you. Also, they have said with their second speaker about how armies teach how to make, they would change national conscription and how to include armies that teach how to make decisions, and that armies have a greater influence so that they need to be taught these things. However, they have failed to show us why this would only be possible in a conscripted army. In fact, this is actually better and this is more efficient in a volunteer-based army, because volunteers, especially in America, which example that they use, are often educated, especially because of throughout the many military academies throughout the nation of America. And since they have failed to tell us why only conscription armies can teach armies how to make decisions, and because they need to influence people better, this point does not stand at all. Now, our points in this debate today, the government is saying that, another point by the opposition was about the responsibility of citizens. However, citizens contribute to the country and give back to the country in many different ways. So, by doing national conscription would not exactly be respecting or forcing the responsibility of the citizens in any way. We have told you about human rights, we have told you about this inefficiency of the status quo, and we have provided you with an actual, effective, and very logical solution that actually fits the motion today and fits the objectives of the motion better than the actual motion. And this is why the motion should stand. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Of the people, by the people, and for the people. This is what President Lincoln said in his Gettysburg Address. But what if people are not paying back to what the government has offered, ladies and gentlemen? We see that is the exact reason why we're proposing this policy of national conscription. And this is the reason why the closing ivy neckties are the hope for the future. Now, ladies and gentlemen, as the fourth speaker of the opposition, I'd like to show you in each of the clashes why the closing government has clearly won this debate. Clash 1, whether it is morally or socially justifiable to have military conscription. The team government keeps on saying that it's the government's responsibility to grant freedom. True. That the freedom of choice must be granted. True. But what if the people are not paying back to the society? Because military conscription supports patriotism and loyalty to the government, and because it educates about those values, it is valuable that and because it trains valuable character traits, and because it proposes discipline, teamwork, and leadership. This is a clear policy that we need in the status quo, ladies and gentlemen. And this also teaches about how citizens have the duty to protect the country.
Point of information.
No, thank you, sir. And third, a second subpoint. They say, ladies and gentlemen, because if military jobs are thought as legitimate jobs, many people will actually enroll to the military only because it is legitimate, and they based on their arguments on the true volunteerism, which is actually very idealistic. We say, however, ladies and gentlemen, that this is a truistic argument, which says people will enroll to the military because it is legitimate. And we cannot actually guarantee the quality of the military that they are proposing to have by volunteerism. If
Point of information.
yes, sir.
Isn't it obvious that the people who are more willing to serve in the military will work better in the military?
But, well, let's think about the status quo. Well, there are people who are not willing to serve in the military. Will they be suddenly motivated because governments are proposing solutions like college benefits and other physical benefits, ladies and gentlemen, which I will explain in the third class of economists, which this is truly against the government's responsibility. So, ladies and gentlemen, in the moral clash, we have proven to you to motivate people and to educate people about this military and to educate people about this national responsibility and as citizens and as social contracts. This is truly the reason why we have this. Why we should end this. Why we should propose military conscription. Now, moving on to the second clash, whether it is politically beneficial or not. They say, ladies and gentlemen, that in the war, some qualified people must serve in the military, and because they will be motivated and qualified, and because it is not infringing on human rights that they kept on saying. But what about countries with so little population as Switzerland, that our deputy leader of the opposition mentioned that military conscription is necessary? They're not thinking about the conditions, even if they're mentioning the definition as international community. We are thinking about the situation in a broad sense, with population, with with countries with so many population that controlled military conscription is not really needed, and with so little population that military conscription is so needed. They say, ladies and gentlemen, also that volunteerism will actually lead to high quality military and little of the people. And with little amount of people, it'll be more efficient. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's think about Korea. We are in a sensitive situation because Korea is divided into South and North Korea. And from the responsibility that they have, from the responsibility that the citizens have, and because we're in such sensitive situation and a reminiscent of Cold War, this is not even effective in the situation of Korea. No, thank you, sir. Not even effective in the situation of Korea. Now, moving on to the third clash, ladies and gentlemen, whether it is economically beneficial or not. They keep on saying that it costs too much, then it's a waste of money because we have to feed them, care them, and train them. Ladies and gentlemen, because we have provided you the statistics of U.S. and Korea and showed you how the U.S.'s national expenditure on military expenses is not really different from the national expenditures of Korea, which is a country that supports military conscription. We say, ladies and gentlemen, that even if military services go optional, spending will not be really different. They say, ladies and gentlemen, also that college tuition and fiscal benefits and financial goods will promote volunteerism. However, ladies and gentlemen, is it the government's responsibility to let the people polarize in their different economic classes? Is it the government's responsibility for the people? To neglect the people, to spend some of the year because they're so poor? Is it the government's responsibility because is it the government's responsibility for the people to serve in the military because they're so poor and fail to have their dreams? Ladies and gentlemen, we think this is a totally flawed argument, ladies and gentlemen. So we have provided you economic benefits, political benefits, and morally justifiable benefits. This is the why we beg you to oppose the motion. Thank you.